When it comes to projection mapping, Resolume Arena isn't limited to simple shapes. The tools and advanced output are versatile to suit the most complex layouts. Let's show how projection mapping works on a polygonal structure with multiple sides or faces. We'll use the various tools in Resolume Arena to display content on different sections of a pentagon. First, let's set up our composition. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate, and since the structure is fairly uniform, we can make the composition a 1080 by 1080 square. To projection map this more accurately, we took a quick photo of the structure using a mobile phone. Open the advanced output settings and let's load the photo to use as a guide. Make sure the Input Selection tab is selected and click on Screen 1. On the right side under Input Guide, let's click Load and select the photo of our polygonal structure. Make sure your photo is the same size as your composition. In our case, we resized it to 1080 by 1080. You can adjust the opacity as well. Now let's create a slice for each of the pentagon's faces. Click on the plus button, and since each face is a triangle, let's click on the triangle icon next to polygon. We'll position the first triangle at the top of the structure and rotate it 180 degrees by holding Shift and dragging a corner. Now let's scale it down by holding Option or Alt Shift and reposition the triangle similar to our structure. Zoom in with the mouse wheel or use the zoom menu under the Input Selection tab to get a better view of the shape. We can also reposition the composition by holding spacebar and dragging. Click on the edit points and move each point to match the shape of the top face. Moving forward, make sure snapping is enabled by clicking on the magnet icon. This will help to create a seamless input map. We don't need slice 1, so let's remove it, and we can now duplicate the polygon slice we just created by holding Option or Alt Shift and dragging a copy of the shape. Let's add 72 degrees to this by typing plus 72 next to the current rotation value. This will make our right slice. Let's snap it into place for now. Duplicate the right slice. To make this our left slice, we can simply type 108. Snap it onto the left side. Duplicate the right slice again, and we'll add 72 degrees to the current rotation. Let's position this as the bottom right slice. Lastly, duplicate this slice by holding Option or Alt Shift and dragging. We'll input 36 for the rotation, snap it into place. Let's rename each slice according to position. Now let's make sure all lines and main control points intersect so we have a seamless input map. We'll use the top slice as the main reference point. Click on Edit Points, and let's go ahead and line up each slice according to our input guide photo. Now that we're done creating the polygons of our pentagon structure, select all of the polygon slices, and we'll hold Shift and drag our group of slices to fill the composition and center it. Let's go ahead and map these slices on our physical structure, but first let's select our projector, Display To, from the Device drop-down menu on the right. We'll also clear the photo from the input guide. Click on the Output Transformation tab. Let's click on the Show Grid icon and enable both Show Slice Grid and Show in Output. Our slices are now ready for mapping on the pentagon structure. This is how our input map is currently being projected. Click and drag to select all of our polygon slices and let's reposition them to the center of the structure. Select one of the polygon slices and click on Edit Points. Now we can freely move the points around to map each polygon slice. This part of the process involves eyeballing the structure while lining up the grid lines to match it. Make sure to snap points into place so everything lines up perfectly. Now that the mapping is complete, let's turn off the grid from our output. It's also a good time to save your map as a preset by clicking on the Presets drop-down menu and selecting Save As. Save and close the advanced output. With our structure mapped, we can now trigger clips and the content will be projected and conform to the shape of our pentagon surfaces. You can take this idea further and trigger content on specific faces of the structure. We'll clear layer 1 and trigger content on layers 2 and 3. Here we have the slice transform effect added to these layers. If you look at the effect parameters, notice that layer 3 projects the right and left slices. For layer 2, the top and bottom slices are projected onto. Since our content was rotated and correctly positioned in our input map, all of the content triggered onto the slices will be properly oriented. No matter how simple or complex your projection mapping projects are, the advanced output tools in Resolume Arena are easy to use and flexible for any situation.